station where I was working was a upper class station, and the amount of corruption and fraud that was existent at this police station was already something else to be seen. We were not even one of the most corrupt stations in the city, and the amount of what's the word? If you look at the amount of disinterest that the members experience, that all happens, where eventually the members are so tired from having to go to court, arresting somebody, having to go to court, that over the span of 5 years I started becoming aware of the people that I worked with, that we were tough cops, that you see almost in the movies. These people even became disinterested, where before they wouldn't hesitate to arrest somebody or to investigate a crime or to investigate something that, we were driving and something over there looks like a potential crime. These people started becoming disinterested. And that's when I knew something was going on, that these cops, that they made it their lives, they were not afraid to, shoot, get shot at, to do their absolute best to take care of the public and to uphold the actual, you could say that if they committed themselves to serving and protecting, that's what they did. And these people started becoming disinterested. And even now when I speak to some of the people that I worked with, they will tell me that they've become very disinterested. They will actually walk away from jobs. They will, they'll book onto duty and they'll take the police vehicle and they'll go home and they'll go and sleep. They'll, for example, use the vehicle and go and do shopping or go driving around, or they'll just spend the day visiting friends and driving around, and they'll only do the bare minimum. And that's already happened when I was stationed there. And, the amount of corruption is the things that I saw and experienced with regards to members arriving drunk at work. Now, these things are actually happening. These things actually happen at the police stations. The members arrive drunk. The members don't do their work. They'll go home. They'll use the vehicles for their own purpose. It happens at all the stations, whatever station you go to, it happens there. And basically nothing is done about it. These people are left. They may be given a warning. So to say that the next point here is that I speak about statistics are not accurate, because people are reluctant to actually report crimes to the police, because they'll say that people have a perception of the police. The public have a perception, particularly about the police's justness, impartiality, and competence. I do not agree that it is a perception. In fact, the public don't know enough about what actually goes on in government services, and yet people are aware that this is busy going on. I mean, we do realize that the media they over-exaggerate problems to again suit certain people, to create fear, to create confusion, to create anger. This in itself is how the major corporations impulse people to act out of fear and to participate further in the money system out of fear of survival. However, what the public need to realize is that the government systems are keeping you and keeping all of us trapped so that we don't speak up. In other words, the government services don't actually do anything about themselves and the corruption that takes place within the government services, because they don't have to. Because the public are so busy getting on with their lives and surviving. And what are the public going to do? I mean, you're not going to be able to walk up to the president and say to him, I know what you're doing. You're not going to dare walk up to a police officer and say to him, hey, I know you're not putting in all your hours. I know last week you walked away from arresting that guy. I mean, in my time in the police, we would, for example, on a few occasions arrest somebody. The evidence is clear cut. You get to court, you spend the entire day at court, and the magistrate will say to you, I'm sorry, I think we should make a deal here that the guy gets to walk because basically you guys don't have sufficient evidence. This happens a lot. This is discouraging the members from actually doing their work efficiently. I've been there. I've witnessed it. I've seen hours and hours and hours being wasted, people's lives being put into danger to chase suspects, and it comes down to the courts, and the courts just say, sorry, we're not going to do anything about it. And so, in other words, for them to actually make this kind of statement that, you know, the public are not trusting of the police service and of the government services, the public need to start realizing that the governments are not interested in doing what is best for all. I mean, seriously, if America wanted to stop gangs and problems and drugs and whatever the hell it is that they set their mind to, they could stop the problem. Even in South Africa, I have seen that if the South African government actually gave a hoot about the poor, about the dysfunctional society that we exist in, about educating the people, they will actually focus on doing that. But instead, our president has how many wives, of which each wife has a mansion, of which the taxpayer has to pay for, and when our dear president goes overseas to go and hang out with the Queen, which is absolutely useless and does not support getting to the problem of what South Africa is facing, then it costs them 8 million rand, which costs the taxpayer 8 million rand just for accommodation. For them to be able to take all their prime ministers and their wives and their children and their I don't even know how many people went, how big this political party was, but it cost 8 million rand just for accommodation for this presidential party to go and hang out with the Queen. And it's things like that that the public need to start realizing. And it's time for us to stop putting our trust and faith in the government services and stop allowing the people in between, the mediators like psychologists and the media, to lie to us and to feed us lies. And it's time for people to actually start opening their own eyes and hear and listen and see what is going on. We're being lied to because the people at the top are being supported by the existing money system, and you are being told, listen, it's okay, stay in fear, stay the way you are, stay trusting of the existing money system, of the government systems, of the people in charge, and you just go to work every day and you do your job. You don't speak up, and you don't have to do anything about what's happening in the world by focusing on yourself and your own immediate environment and your own world.